Hi, Freddie.
Hey,
How are you? No,
I'm, I'm
I'm
absolutely
holding the microphone today.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
in the,
beautiful.
yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah,
good. It's a
guys,
good
it's
board.
it's a very beautiful day. We're in a park, as you can imagine. Most probably can hear birds singing, and there's a
Some background.
yeah, there's a playground, children's playground here,
Yeah,
and
someone's on the
also
swing. That repetitive noise you hear
yeah,
because
and
of
also there's
that.
construction somewhere around here. But
That's okay. That's
anyway,
life.
that's now referring to sounds. We want to talk about the sounds of language today. We want to talk about pronunciation a little bit. All right. And well, firstly, the question is, what is pronunciation? The pronunciation is the production of the sounds of a language. And this is exactly where it gets a little bit complicated, because then the question is, what are the sounds of the English language? All right. And it really depends on what kind of English language you're talking about. Are you talking about American English, Canadian English, British English, Australian English, so on and so forth? And you do have different sounds in different dialects. Now, we will talk about accents and dialects and the differences later on. But for the moment, we want to just talk about pronunciation in general and some tips. Now, firstly, the most important thing is that you need to take care of your pronunciation. Your pronunciation doesn't have to be native-like. If you want to have native-like pronunciation, that's absolutely fine. You have good reasons for it. Go for it. You can absolutely do it. Put time and effort into it. You will achieve it. But your pronunciation should be comprehensible, even if you have what people call a foreign accent. For example, if you're a Spanish speaker and you speak English with a Spanish accent, that's absolutely fine, as long as people understand you. So pronunciation is important for speaking, of course, because when you're speaking, you are producing the sounds of the language. And I want to be honest with you guys. Usually we are judged on our pronunciation. People judge
Yeah.
you on how you speak, how you produce the sounds of a language. All right, whether you're foreign or local, whether you're educated or uneducated, what your job is, they can make guesses. So you will be judged. However, it is possible to work on the pronunciation. So pronunciation is important for speaking. But it is also important for listening, because if you know a word, let's say you know a word, you know the written form, you know what the meaning is, you know what the use is. When you read, you absolutely understand it. Perhaps you can even use it when you're writing it, right? But if you don't know the pronunciation, or if you know the wrong pronunciation, when you listen to somebody who uses the word, you may not even recognize this is the same word. All right,
That's the
because
problem
that
many students have.
absolutely. So one of the listening problems that many people have is because of pronunciation. All right. So that's the second reason why you want to work on your pronunciation. Now, to a lesser degree, pronunciation is important for reading as well. All right. And the reason is that while we're reading, most of the real reading activities are done silently. All right, you don't just pronounce everything aloud. You don't read out everything. All right, usually you read silently. But even when you're reading silently, you are producing the sounds in your mind, right? And that is perhaps you've had this experience that sometimes you're distracted, you're nervous, you're anxious, you're excited, you're thinking about something else, and you're reading. All right, and then you see, wow, I haven't been understanding anything for the past minute, for example. I've been looking at all the words and all the lines. Perhaps I even turned over the page, but I didn't understand what was happening. All right. The reason is usually because you didn't produce the sounds mentally. So pronunciation is important also for reading. And research shows that if you don't know the pronunciation of a word or a phrase, it can absolutely slow you down while you're reading, when you
I
encounter
wanted to
that
just
word or
ask
that
this
phrase.
one
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly. So it is important for reading as well. So if you work on your pronunciation, you will be a better communicator. You can speak better. People can understand you better. You can understand people better. All right. And also, you can read better. You can read faster. And these are the reasons why you need to work on your pronunciation. Now, there are many different aspects to the pronunciation of a language. The most important are, firstly, you have to learn the sounds of a language. And especially for the sake of the production of the sounds, you need to choose a dialect. Now, remember, for the sake of comprehension, you should be able to understand anybody's pronunciation. I'm not just talking about native speakers. You should be able to understand American speakers, Canadian speakers, Australian speakers, South African speakers, British speakers, Scottish speakers, Irish speakers, but also other people. If a person whose accent is Spanish or French or any other foreign accent, they speak English, you need to understand them. So for the sake of pronunciation, you need to understand everybody. For the sake of production, it is a good idea to choose one dialect. For example, general North American pronunciation, the kind of pronunciation that we have in the United States and in Canada, or just Canadian pronunciation, or I don't know, general British pronunciation, which may mean a lot of things. Actually, there are many different kinds. But anyway, you need to choose which dialect of English you want to practice, you want to speak. And if you don't live in an English-speaking country, then you really need to choose very carefully. If you live somewhere where people usually speak English, like for example here in Canada, or in the United States, or in the UK, or wherever, well, naturally you should understand the kind of language that most people speak, all right? And then you need to practice with the sounds of language, all right? And usually when you're learning another language, there are 4 situations, all right? Situation 1, there are sounds in English. You exactly have the same sounds in your language. No problem here.
Exactly.
Right?
There's no problem.
No problem. Okay, there are sounds in your language, whatever your first language is, that we don't have in English. Again, no problem here. You simply don't have to
ignore them.
produce. Yeah. You ignore them. You don't produce them. Now, third situation, a little bit more difficult. There are sounds in English that you don't have in your language, and you really need to get them right. One of them would be the sound that you don't find in many languages. That's another one. And then the last situation number 4, which is usually the last one that most people master, is that there are sounds in your language and there are similar sounds in English. They are similar, but they're not exactly the same. And usually these are the sounds that you get right last.
Yeah.
And the reason is that for a long time, you don't even hear the difference between, for example, your re sound and the English re sound. All right? Your de sound and the English de sound. Perhaps I'm just giving you some examples. There are several of them. And after some time, you get them right. So for a long time, you may be producing the sound of your language instead of the English one. All right? And these are little differences when native speakers, they sometimes you see you have a conversation with them and they ask you, by the way, what's your background? Where are you from?
Yeah, because of these ones.
And you're like, oh my God, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been studying English for a long time. I didn't think I had an accent, a foreign accent, what we call a foreign accent. All right, so these are so the first thing you need to work on is the sounds of language. All right, and as I said, this is really important. These sounds are different from Canadian English, even to American English, to British English, to Australian English. So you need to choose your dialect. There are other aspects to pronunciation like stress. We'll talk about stress later on. Like intonation, we'll talk about intonation later on. And of course, the context. Accent is important, social status is important. All these things will influence your pronunciation, of course. But I think as a general introduction to pronunciation, I think for the moment that's enough. So just to sum up everything, take pronunciation seriously because it is important for your speaking, it is important for your listening, it is important for your reading, all right? Remember that most probably there are situations in which people will judge you on your pronunciation. Remember
Don't be
that,
surprised.
Exactly.
It's there.
Exactly. And you don't need to have a native like pronunciation or accent. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. As long as people comprehend you. For example, when you're making a call on the phone, when you're speaking to people face to face, they absolutely understand you. Then it is absolutely fine. All right, at least as a first standard, first step, I think that is the checkpoint we can aim for. All right.
We have a guest.
Yeah. Hello. There's a beautiful dog.
There's
here.
a beautiful
So that's
puppy, yeah.
about it. So guys, if you have any questions about pronunciation, or if you have any tricks even for pronunciation, for learning pronunciation, please let us know. If you want to hear about pronunciation, accents, dialects, stress, intonation, and things like that more, please put your questions in the comment, and hopefully we'll have videos for them as well.
Definitely. So I think in future we will talk about like ways that we can improve, like techniques, maybe
Absolutely,
perhaps
absolutely.
some maybe resources that we can use
Of course.
to improve
Yeah,
ourselves.
sure, we can absolutely do
And
that.
let us know what you would like, and we will try to incorporate it into our videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you,
And
guys.
have a lovely day.
Be awesome.
Be awesome. See you.
Bye.
Bye.